Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Have you ever noticed that some people, despite how little they have, make the best with what they got? There's a man like that in my neighborhood. His name is Dante. And morning and night, you can find Dante sitting on a bench in front of my local coffee shop. Now, when you see Dante, you're not going to be impressed. He basically looks like an old fart on a bench. Imagine Winston Churchill after World War II. 75 pounds overweight, big round face, droopy eyes, and a trench coat that tries to cover it all up. He smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and he drinks 12 cups of coffee a day, which is 1 for every hour he's on this bench. But what Dante lacks in appearance and health, he makes up for in attitude. Because let me tell you, there are some mornings when I come down to get my coffee before work, and Dante will spring up off this bench, and he'll watch me and he'll say, "Alex, you working out? You look strong." And I'll say, "No, Dante, I'm not working out." He says, "You sure? You look strong, Alex." "Thanks, Dante, I appreciate that." And I'll go in and get my coffee. But Dante saves the best for another patron named Lisa. She's one of these types who gets dressed to the nines every day, and Dante likes that. When Lisa comes to the coffee shop, I swear to you, Dante gets 30 years younger. And he leaps up off this bench and he takes his hat off like a Southern gentleman. He says, "Oh, Lisa, you sure look good this morning, like $1 million. And Lisa will turn to him and say, "Oh, thanks, Dante, that's sweet." And she'll go in and get her coffee. And Dante will wait for her. 5 minutes later, Lisa will come walking out with her coffee in her hand, and he'll just take it in. He'll wait for her to cross that street. He'll tiptoe out to the edge of the sidewalk. And he'll make a bullhorn with his hands like this for the whole neighborhood to hear. "Knock 'em dead, Lisa! Knock 'em dead!" And you can hear Lisa turn back, "Thanks, Dante." And she'll get in her car and drive off. That's making the best of a morning hello. Now, I don't know if it was Lisa or me, but one of us sparked a real motivation in Dante. Because one morning I came down and he was sitting on this bench, drinking his coffee, smoking his cigarettes, hunched over doing curls with a 20-pound dumbbell. And I walked up to him, I said, "Dante, I hope you don't mind me asking, but what's a man your age doing curls for in front of a coffee shop?" He just looked at me and said, "Alex, you think this body comes easy?" Now, I have to give Dante credit. For the next 2 weeks, he worked out every morning on that bench. But one day I came down, and he was just like this on the bench. The dumbbell was sitting on the ground. I said, "Dante, what's the matter? You were lifting that dumbbell like it was a feather just the other day." He said, "Alex, lifting that dumbbell is easy. It's carrying it back and forth every day that's wearing me out." I said, "But Dante, don't you live 2 miles up that hill?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You mean to tell me you've been carrying that dumbbell 2 miles that way and 2 miles this way every day for the last 2 weeks?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Dante, you're nuts." And he just sort of looked at me and said, "Alex, you mean to tell me you're just figuring that out?" Talk about making the best of a simple bench. Now, at that point, I thought I had seen everything there was to see about Dante. But then summer came, and we had one of those summers in San Francisco you never see. Big blue sky, 90-degree heat. Everybody was outside having a good time. And after a few hours of activity, I decided I wanted a cup of coffee. So I walked down to my local coffee shop, and there was Dante. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's always on this bench. And he was drinking his coffee and smoking his cigarette, doing his curls. This time, he was half naked. I walked up to him, and I was about to ask him why his shirt was off, when who do you think came walking out of that coffee shop? Dressed to the nines. And Dante dropped that dumbbell faster than a hot potato. And he hopped off that bench for the whole neighborhood to see. And he just took it in. And he walked out to the edge of that sidewalk, and he formed a bullhorn with his hands like this, with everybody watching. "The world's yours in that dress, Lisa. The world's all yours." And the whole group just erupted. I mean, everybody just started cheering. I've never seen so many people so excited to see a half-naked man on the sidewalk. And it was at that moment when Lisa turned around, bright red, and said, Thanks, Dante, in an embarrassed voice, and got in her car and drove off. And I realized at that moment that Dante was more than an old fart on a bench. By making the best of a morning hello, or the best of a simple bench, or the best of a summer day, he makes all of our days better. And for that, I just want to say, thanks, Dante.